So, as you see, today I want to jump in and talk about three shifts to conquer fear. And I decided on this topic, one, because for the past week, almost 2 weeks, I've had separate conversations where this comes up, the whole thought of fear and not being able to move forward in what they wanted to do. So the people that I've had these conversations with, um, have aspirations to do more in life, and fear seems to be the topic of discussion. And that four-letter word that seems to defer so many dreams. Thousands, millions of dreams have been killed because of fear. So I wanted to just go ahead and address this in my live. And, before I do, as you see, I'm Jacqueline Michele, and I am a customer alignment strategist. And some, may call that a business coach as well, because what I do is I work with professionals, business owners who are looking to optimize their business and align it in such a way where they're attracting more customers and at the same time accelerating their revenue. So what I do is I get in there and I work with you to get your business to a certain level, preferably to that six-figure level is the goal. So I wanted to give you just a little insight into what I do, but also just to let you know that coaching aspect of, my title has a lot to do with getting entrepreneurs' mindsets um, into the right spirit. And what I mean by that is specifically getting your mind to a point where you are comfortable with stretching yourself, stretching your current state of being to that future state of being. So, what I want to do is just shift right now to what I did while working in big businesses. And what many big businesses do is they look at the current state of the business versus the future state of the business. And this is a method used to see how to grow. Where can the company make changes, adjustments, bring in new technology in order to get to that future state. So in business, what I did in customer operations is I would look at, just a high level view of customer operations and all the different avenues that a customer would go through, all the different touch points is what it's called, all the different touch points that in the current state customers go through from the point of making contact with you as the business, but even before that, your marketing, the touch point of the live marketing that you have out there, be it social media ads, be it going live like I do, or, some businesses have commercials, they have ads that pop up while you're on Facebook. Those are customer touch points, and that's typically the beginning introduction to your business. So when you're viewing the current state of your business from a customer's perspective, because that's what I teach my clients, is building a business from your customer's perspective. Building a customer centric company is vital to be able to scale, to be able to get that longevity and sustainability that you as a business owner should want. So you're looking at all the different touch points from a customer's perspective, and then you work your way, to internally the different avenues where customers either speak directly to you internally, if you have employees, how they're gaining access to your employees. Is it via telephone? Is it just via the internet, or whatever that touch point is? So you're looking at your current state And then once you look at it from a high level, you're looking at the different technologies that you use. You also always want to be cognizant of things that are valuable in business versus what's not valuable. So that's my Lean Six Sigma taking over there, because in business, you want to have processes and procedures in place that are value added processes and procedures. You don't want any fluff in there that's going to basically take away from productivity. So, all of that you're looking at in your current state of the business versus then what you want to do is look on ways to make improvements where you would like your future state to be in business. So, that's a quick overview of how to analyze your business to see if everything is working in sync and how you can make improvements. So, yes, we started out talking about the three shifts to conquer fear. And it's related because what you want to do as an individual to get to that point of conquering fear is you need to look at your current self first and foremost. Look at your current self, and if you are a ambitious person, a high achiever like myself, the things that you definitely want to look at is where you currently are and where you would like to be. So in regards to fear, the one thing that I tell my clients is you have to, one, know your value. Know your value, know your worth, and that can never be taken away from you. So many times throughout life, we're taught to work hard so that you can make money. Work hard, make money, and yeah, that's the world we live in. It's difficult to survive without a source of income. But what I want you all to realize is the value in yourself. These businesses that we all work for, I before becoming self-employed, as I shared before, I would work, work, work constantly. While I'm at work, I'm giving 150 plus percent of myself. And what happens is when you're an ambitious person and, people call it having side hustles, and you have aspirations beyond what your career is, or what you're working for someone doing, that sometimes you lose sight to the fact that you are valuable. What you do is valuable to your employer. The skills and experiences that you're able to solve, that you lend to your business, meaning your employer, are the same skills that you can use for yourself. So the first step, or the first shift that has to happen to conquer fear, is one, realizing your value, understanding that you are valuable. When the feeling of fear creeps in, what I recommend that you do is plant your feet. Plant your feet and embrace that feeling. Recognize what that feeling of fear is, because fear is an emotion, and it feels the same exact way when you're doing something that you are uncomfortable with, something that you're doing for the first time. Fear is that same feeling, that you get each and every time that you stop yourself from moving forward. And what you have to do is ask yourself, one, what is that? Why do I get this feeling of fear when I'm about to, step into something that's uncomfortable? What is it? Or better yet, what exactly will happen if I take that leap of faith and trust in yourself? So many times, you hear about gut feelings. We all get that those gut feelings, that intuition, but we ignore it. Some people are a little more in tuned with the that intuition, that gut feeling, and that is something in my life that I had to get more, I guess, more accepting of, listening and trusting myself, because there have been so many times, and I'm sure this has happened to each of you, when your gut tells you to do something and you don't do it. You don't follow your gut. You don't listen to God telling you what you need to do. I always say, if you why worry if you prayed? You know, you have to get comfortable with trusting your gut instinct, because yes, it's you, it's your soul talking to you, directing you where you need to be. But for whatever reason, you don't follow that because of fear, because of the uncomfortable nature of, just being out of your comfort zone. But what would happen if you did? There are so many times that you didn't. And then in hindsight, you're thinking, well, why didn't I? You know, I should have. Coulda, shoulda, woulda, right? That whole coulda, shoulda, woulda, it's messed with people forever. But I want to stress to you the importance of trusting yourself, trusting that gut feeling, and going with it. Just go with that feeling. Trust yourself. I'm of the mindset that you are where you are supposed to be. That also has to do with living in the now, and where you want to be. You're currently, right now, in the now, setting yourself up. You're putting yourself in position to be that future self. If you imagine yourself, your future self, being a successful entrepreneur, being successful at that promotion that you're scared to just jump out there and apply for. If you visualize yourself being wealthy, there is no reason why you can't be any of those things. There's no reason. If you can, you when I tell you the power of words, your words and thoughts are very powerful. And when you start visualizing where you would like yourself to be in the future, and then pair that with writing down where you want to be in the future, and then start taking those actions to where you want to be in the future, you see that pattern. It's all about you. You have to be the one that creates your future. It's, right before I jumped on, I was reading through my journal, and there is a quote. Let me see if I can find it real quick, by Abraham Lincoln. And it's interesting sometimes where inspiration comes from, the people that inspiration comes from. And let's see here, where is it? Here it is. The best way to predict your future is to create it. So let me read that again. The best way to predict your future is to create it. Abraham Lincoln said that. Sometimes the message, you have to overlook where it comes from and accept the message. It's true. You are the captain of your ship. You create your future. So that's the first shift. You have to be solid in yourself, know your value, and figure out what that feeling of fear is. Why does that feeling creep in when you're putting yourself into a uncomfortable situation? Recognize it. Be in the moment. I encourage you to be solid in that feeling. Feel it. Understand it. Embrace it. but don't let it stunt your growth. Don't let it keep you from moving forward. And if you're just joining, in the beginning, I was sharing that I'm on here today about this topic because it's come up from three different people in the past week about how fear, they just can't move past fear. So I definitely wanted to address this today. So definitely like, share, comment. I encourage, communication, and something else I want to throw in here while I'm on the whole be solid and stepping into your fear. This message that I'm delivering today is for who it's for. And some people may say, why is she on here twice a week doing these lives? And, you know, the the naysayers. And, some people may be bold enough to even say that to my face. You're going to have those oppositions. You're going to have people not understand your purpose in life. And that is fine. Your purpose is your purpose. It's not for everyone. The closest people to you may not understand your walk in life, but it's your walk. You have to take it. So don't let fear deter you. Don't let people deter you, and move in your purpose. Listen to that gut feeling and understand your value and how much what you have to offer, how much you have to offer to someone else, how valuable that would be. My coach said something during a session we had, and it moved me. You are it just it moved me to the point of knowing that what I'm doing is for a reason. You are good enough for the next person, meaning where I am now and the knowledge that I have, the next person that needs me, I am good enough for that next person. And I'm talking about business as a client. The next person who needs me, the state that I am in now, the knowledge that I have, the value that I bring, they need that knowledge. So don't ever, cut yourself short. Don't ever self sabotage. It happens. It happens to me. I was a little discouraged a couple of days ago. Had a cancellation, you know, but it's okay because that person either wasn't for me, they aren't ready for what I have to deliver, or, the next person that is for me, God's moving them out of the way so the next person can come to me. So be solid in yourself, be solid in your how valuable you are, and redirect that fear. So when fear starts to creep in, again, so remember the first is just embracing it, understanding where that fear is coming from. But you have to redirect that fear and step into it. So, what I mean is do the thing that makes you scared. So, okay, fear creeps in, and it could be anything. It doesn't always have to be business related. It could be, the fear of swimming, the fear of water, the fear of um filling out the application for a promotion, or the fear of talking to your boss about getting a raise, or fear, little, small, big, whatever it is. Redirect that fear and do the thing that makes you scared. So start with little things, again, it could be something small. Take swimming lessons if you're scared of water. So remember, fear, that feeling of fear is the same exact feeling that comes on for small to big obstacles. So once you conquer that feeling and start stepping into it with small steps, small obstacles, when you make your way up to that big thing for you, whatever the big thing for you is, that same feeling that comes to to the surface for those small steps that you've already conquered will be that same feeling you get once you face that the big, whatever it is, the big fear of yours. You will already have prepared yourself by conquering all those small things for whatever the big thing is, and it'll be like breathing. Simple. I trust and believe when I say do the redirection of the fear and step into it scared. Start with the small, and when you get to that big, it won't even phase you. I promise you. And the third shift that you need to make in order to conquer fear is you must get clear. You have to find clarity. So the more clear you get, the easier it is for you to get to your next level. So, let me say that again. The more clarity you have in what the fear is, where that feeling is coming from, the more clarity you have on where you want to be in your future state, the more clarity you have on the steps that you must take to get to that future state of you, the more clarity that you have on whatever business goal or life goal that you want to achieve to get to that next level, it becomes so much easier when you implement these three shifts. So I encourage each and every one of you who has allowed fear, the emotion, to get in the way of where you want to be in life, where you're supposed to be in life. I implore you to be courageous, be bold. Don't self sabotage yourself. Don't tell yourself, who am I to want to be a six-figure business owner? Don't tell yourself, who am I? Who am I to think, I'm going to jump on these lives twice a week? I'm me. I'm being in the moment. I am it, I am I understand my value, which is number 1 that I said to you. Understand your value. And my goal is to share my knowledge however it needs to be shared, be it here on social media, face to face with business owners, with corporations. My goal and my mission is to share my knowledge to make it easier for someone else to be successful, in business and life. When I work with my clients, it's people come into wanting to go to that next level. However, really don't understand the mindset that they need to alter in order to be successful. And it also depends on the level of success. Not everyone wants to be a millionaire, not everyone wants a six-figure company. So that is one thing. As a strategist, as a coach, as someone who is mentoring anyone, you need to understand first what the person wants, and get to the essence of where they would like to be. It does take you as the person who wants these goals fulfilled to be able to stretch yourself, to be able to be consistent. Consistency is key in everything. The more you do, the more it becomes a habit. The more the habit, becomes second nature, especially when it's a good habit, when it's something positive. You always want to create positive habits. There are so many times that we go through life and not understand how we got somewhere. It's important to be present, to, again, I'm a pen and paper girl, so putting things to paper to understand what you did to get where you are is very important. Understanding your current state versus your future state, your current self versus your future self, um, it is key. You must be meticulous, consistent in your growth. I encourage anyone out there, to apply and go back and listen. If you're just catching me now, put a hashtag replay in the comments, but listen to this video again. And I guarantee you, whatever it is that's stopping you from moving forward, when you apply these three shifts, it will definitely take you out of your comfort zone, which it's supposed to do. You'll move into where you need to be in order to be the best you possible. And yeah, I can say it and it will sound, oh, what's she saying? It sounds easy, but it's tough. Yeah, it's tough. Guess what? Life is tough. There's there may be some people who have made millions easily. There may be people who have gotten to the next level easily, but guess what? We're all different. We are all different. Everybody has their own struggles in life, and each of us has to, maneuver and figure out how to get to that other side. But it does start with you. You have to be willing. You have to be willing to take those shifts, one, and realize your value. Realize your value. Realize also, when you need help. There's nothing wrong with asking for help. Yeah, many people probably have gotten to the next level on their own, but why struggle? Why recreate the wheel when you know there's someone who can help you get to where you want to be quicker? It's about that time. We're so used to trading our time for money. We have to get out of that mindset. Stop trading your time for money. Understand your value. I cannot stress that enough. Valuing time to valuing your worth is key. It's key. I want to take this time to invite you to an opportunity. I said it's closing soon. I extended an offer to my customer attraction program where I work with individuals. It is transformational. If you want the transformation, I'll lay out all the tools, all the strategies that you need. It does start with you. I stress this to all my clients. I can give you all the strategies in the world. You can look up the strategies on Google. But if you're not going to apply them, that's a whole nother topic. We need to get to why you keep stunting your growth. And I have no problem having those conversations. So I definitely want to give you the opportunity to have a conversation with me, to jump on a call, and let's discuss where you are, where you would like to be in business, and if we're a fit for each other. My customer attraction call, I put it up here, it's streaming along the bottom. It's bit.ly, bit.ly/command more clients. If you are a business owner who are looking to move to the next stage and start aligning your business, attracting more customers, and accelerating your revenue, I encourage you to jump on a call with me and let's have a conversation. Let's find out what needs to be done to get you to that next level. Where you are now, if I'm a good fit for you, if you're a good fit for me, there is an application that you have to fill out. The application, it just simply asks questions. One, to definitely get you into the thinking mindset to basically understand the types of questions that you need to ask yourself. And then on the flip side of that, those questions are for my benefit. So when we and if we move to that next stage, because not everyone who applies to work for with me, not everyone moves to that next level. So I think it's really important to understand this. What I do is serious. I'm not just looking to take everyone's money. It is a process. There is an application. If during the application, I see that we're a good fit, then yeah, we'll jump on a call. We'll have a more in-depth conversation about what you're looking for and how I can support you. Again, however, if there's something in the application that stands out where it does not look like will be a good fit, I'll definitely reach out to you. I'll explain, and if I have some resources that I can offer you, I'll definitely offer you some resources. Um, you know, but there is a investment in working with me, and that investment is at a high rate because what I am sharing is uh, high investment information. This is again, it's an acceleration to get you to where you want to be in business. So if you need a payment plan, I'll definitely extend that. But again, during the conversation, that's something that you would need to, let me know. I have no problem. We'll work out some type of extended payment plan and I'll walk you through what that looks like for my clients. But definitely, I invite you to jump on a call with me. I invite everyone, if there are any questions that you have about this live today, where you, just even want to discuss further about fear and stepping out on fear, we can have that conversation. I have no problem with that. Um, yeah, I love conversations. I love talking about. Um, I just love talking. I like talking about issues, and helping you solve issues. That's what I've done. Again, for 25 plus years, is I'm a problem solver. I get into businesses and I figure out what the problem is. Um, you know, that's what I do. So please like, comment, and share this video. And definitely, if you want to reach out to me as in a private message, but I encourage you to fill out the application. I'll put the link after this video is done. The application to jump on a customer attraction call with me, so we can talk through what's going on and where you would like to be. And thank you. I see I have a couple people that stayed on with me, been jumping back and forth. I know it's the middle of the workday, so thank you for staying on as long as you have. I've made this video shareable, so please share it. Have a great rest of your day. Take care.